Yo, sup traders? How y'all doing? We're gonna talk about rules, following rules, setting rules, all about rules in this video. Just got off. Talked about it a bit in my videos. You guys know I've been doing private adventure hiking tours, and I also started doing dolphin tours, and I just got off a marine tour today. Absolutely loving that. Something that's really helping my life, and I believe is going to really help my trading, is just having other stuff going on, more interesting things, make my life more exciting so I don't trade out of boredom ever. So there's little things you can do like that, and never forget the reason to trade. It's would you rather sit in front of a screen and stare at the screen all day, or just do that for 1 to 2 hours and go be around people and be in the sun, be in the ocean, do something interesting? So for me, that's how I think. But the topic I want to get into is rules, and this is going to be for you if you feel that you're having a hard time following your rules, or you don't have rules, and give you an idea of some of the rules that you could have in your trading business. So the first, I would say that you need to have rules, but you don't need to have that many rules. Actually, too many rules is a problem because it becomes hard to follow them. And if you're not following a particular rule, it could be that it's not a good rule, or you don't believe in the rule and you need a new rule. Because what's the point of a rule that you don't follow, right? So there's some component where you need discipline, and there's a lot of component of self-reflection and introspection of, okay, what am I doing wrong? What am I not doing well? And so on. So I would love to dive in and get into it. So let me start by saying, for me, the two most important rules, and these are rules that I always follow. There's a lot of rules that I break or don't follow. These are rules that I never deviate from, and it's allowed me to survive for 4 years in trading. And the first one is always have a stop loss. I always have a stop loss. I believe in it because I know if you don't have a stop loss, it's possible to lose everything. Fortunately, it's never happened to me, but it almost happened to me. I almost lost. If I had held on to a loser with no stop, I would have lost like 100 grand. I was shorting an altcoin, and full margin, 100K. And that wouldn't have blown me up, but it would have been bad. So rule number one for me is always use a stop. Rule number two is always never risk the whole account on a single trade, with the exception if the account's down to like $1,000 or $500 or something like that in it. Then it's okay. But I don't have a rule that I follow that, it needs to be 1% or 2%. It just needs to needs to leave multiple trades in the account. It needs to not be the whole account. So those are the two rules that I've consistently followed for my entire trading career. And that's not always using a stop and never risking the full port, only risking a percentage. There's other rules that I've tried on that I haven't stuck with, and most of that's because of conflicting beliefs. So an example would be no phone trading. Well, I made 10 grand phone trading from Kauai, and it made my vacation way better. Because when I made 10 grand, I said, let's book the helicopter tours. And that became a highlight. So it's hard for me to follow that rule because I see sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now, another rule that I have been following that I like is if I'm going to trade Bitcoin, it's longs only. If I'm going to trade altcoins, it's shorts only. And that's because of the belief that Bitcoin has some kind of value and alts don't. So that's the third rule that I stick to. And then the fourth rule, that I did this for a while and it worked really well, which I'm trying to get back to, I'm transitioning back to, but that is for entries. So I have one system that trades off the daily chart. If you sweep a monthly low, given certain other conditions, or you sweep a monthly high, you can trade reverse. Or you hold a breakout to the upside, you can possibly go long depending on a couple other conditions. Those I'm okay market entering. every other trade needs to be a limit order. And it's just because the way price moves up and down, I tend to get better entries, and it works better with my schedule because I'm on the boat, I'm asleep during New York Open, I'm not awake during the best times. So setting limit orders makes sense because I don't have a set routine. Some days I work all day, I cannot check in. Some days I have all day. Well, let me a limit order only. Also, a lot of the time I have a problem of just aggressively adding on at the market as price moves in my favor. And there's times for that occasionally works, but more often than not it harms me, it hurts me. And it's better to set the limit order. And if I want to add on the limit order, add on for a pullback. So I believe in that because my most consistent profitable stretch was basically trading all limit orders. And for me, those are basically the only 4 rules. I'm not sure that I need more rules. And when I think about trying to follow those rules, you got Makaha Beach behind me. I think about there's certain rules in my life that I also follow. I do not drink alcohol. I do not smoke anything. I do not drink caffeine. Those are the main rules. I also have some loose rules where I typically do not eat processed food. Typically don't eat bread or corn. There's exceptions. So if there's exceptions, it's not really a rule. So those are the main rules. Another rule that I noticed myself following, so you're going to find also when you do some introspection that there's certain rules. I passed my house, by the way. My commute is about 6 minutes, but I want to keep talking to you guys, so we're going to cruise a little bit further. If you do some introspection, you're going to find you have certain rules that you follow that you didn't know were rules. So one of my rules is if I need to get up early the next day, I log off early from trading. And I don't need to try to do that, it just happens. Today I had to get up at 5:15, my alarm went off. I was, I think, logged off by 9, so it was okay. And even though, so for me it's important to schedule things in the morning, otherwise I might stay up late staring at the charts. Again, limit orders really help with that. Other rules that would be useful, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of rules I could have, but I think it's important to not have very many, because if you start not following some rules, you might not follow all of them, and also a lot of them don't make sense. I mean, there's things like always wait for stop. I don't really like that, because a lot of the time, price doesn't bounce where I think it's supposed to, or rejects where it shouldn't, and it's like, well, I'm not going to wait for TP or stop, I'm just going to get out. That would be one. So those are some examples of rules you could have. And again, you may have rules and you're not following them. And if it could be your beliefs are conflicting, where you actually think it's not a good rule, and that's okay. You may need to ditch that rule. So it could also be that you're not profitable and you're following your rules, and it might just be a bad stretch for your rules, and if you stick with them, you're going to be profitable. So you got to know that and understand that when it's going to come back in your favor. But there's also times to adjust your rules, right? I mean, recently trading shorts on Bitcoin would have worked pretty well too, but it's all good. So hope you guys find that helpful and useful. Appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. Happy trading. I'm just getting off my work. I'm gonna go eat some lunch, and then I'm gonna go check out what's going on with the markets for the daily close. Okay, appreciate y'all. Much love. Talk to y'all soon. See you in the comments. Comment down below. Peace.